Hey, good morning guys. On this bright sunny morning, we're going to be shooting the GP100 again. And we're also going to be doing an ammo test. Go figure that. Today we're going to be shooting the Federal ammunition 38 Special Plus P. They deemed this, back in the day, the high velocity 158 grain Semi Wadcutter Hollow Point. Product number is 38G, and I believe the G stands for government because this is the claim for fame FBI load. Remington made it and Federal made it. It was the only two ammunition makers that made it back in the day, and if I'm wrong, I'm sure somebody will chime in and tell me how I'm not. But anyway, that's the research I've done so far, so that's where we're going to be at with that. If you want to correct me, have at it. I could care less. But anyway, this is a wad cutter. Back in the day, wad cutters were considered really good defense rounds. They had a flatter nose to them. When they went in, they tore up more tissue. So they had a broad idea to up the pressure and put a hollow point on it. And these things were mushroomed out. There was a famed New York detective that used this in his snub-nosed revolver all the time and probably has more shootings on record than any other police officer in the history of the United States. You guys can look him up. He wrote a great book and the name is escaping me right now. I'm sure during the post that I'll enlighten you guys on what the book is and what you can read on it. And I also will be testing this in the snubby because I know everybody's going to ask me, but today I got the GP100 out and I want to see what it does out of the GP100 first, and then obviously I'm going to test it in the snubby. Once again, it's the Federal 38 Special Plus P Semi Wad Cutter 158 grain, so this is a very heavy load wad cutter and hollow point, so if it all stays together, it's going to be a devastating round. We're going to shoot it through 4 layers of denim and the calibrated ordnance gel. Let's check it out, guys. Okay guys, here we go with that Federal 158 grain Semi Wad Cutter Hollow Point Plus P38 Special FBI load. Let's check this thing out. 4 layers of denim, calibrated gel. I am firing this out of GP100 4-inch barrel. Will be the snubby later. Let's check it out right now. See if its claim for fame holds true. Very light recoiling round. Let's go check it out. Okay guys, here's that wound track of that Federal 38 Special Plus P Semi Wad Cutter Hollow Point. You can see where it went in. It looked like it started opening up right, well, it started dumping denim. You can see right there, right about the 1/2 inch mark. And it looks like it started to open right around the 2. It's kind of a weird wound track here. And then some interesting things happened. I think it started opening a little bit more right there at about the 3 3/4. You guys can see right there, that wound track starts getting pretty massive looking. And then that goes from right around, you know, 3 1/2, 4, I'll call it 4, and you keep on going down, and it looks like it goes all the way to right around 9. It looks like that wound track stops right around the 9-inch mark, starts to settle, as you guys can see, like right in there. I'm starting to lose a little bit of this morning light, and then it settles down, goes on down, goes on down, goes on down, and then right there, you can see it down in the gel. It looks like 19 3/8. Let me get that up out of there so you guys can get a look at it. Okay guys, here's that side view of that 38 Special Plus P 158 grain Semi Wad Cutter Hollow Point, aka FBI load. And you guys can see what I was talking about there. Not real explosive on the hollow point opening. Obviously it opened, dumped denim, but it looks like the major track didn't start until a little bit later. It looks like that's probably when the bullet flattened out. You'll see what I mean here in a second. And then it stabilized on down, and then it went on down to its resting spot right at 19 3/8. You can see how that flattened. It didn't really peel all the way back, it flattened. And you can see what the hollow points look like starting off, and then nice flat. I mean, the, you know, expansion's going to be great on this round. Penetration was pretty deep, 19 3/8. Once again, fired out of a GP100 4-inch barrel, 4 layers of denim calibrated gel. I'll get weights and measurements in post. It looks like it did split up a little bit. I didn't find any down through the track yet, but I will keep a cutting. You guys have a good one. Okay guys, check out those big old Semi Wad Cutters, 158 grain bad boys. Yes, we're at the post of the Federal 38 Special Plus P. 158 grain Semi Wadcutter Hollow Point, product number 38G. We shot this today. 4 layers of denim, calibrated gel. This was known as the FBI load, the Chicago load, the Dallas load. I think everybody just decided to call it whatever city they were from. But basically what it is it's the 158 grain load with a hollow point in it, and it's all lead. There is no jacket to this round. As you guys can see here, no jacket. Pure lead. And back in the day, this was top-notch stuff. And as you guys seen in the test today, still nothing to shake a stick at. Now, I opened this whole video up talking about, well, I didn't know who I was talking about, but I finally put it up there for you guys to see. I don't know why, I just lost his name. Jim Cirrilo was an NYPD detective back in the 70s, and he was part of the stakeout squad. Back in those days, the 158 grain wad cutter and semi wad cutter was the round to carry. And from my information, I've read his book, and there's been a couple other books by Paul Kickschner, I believe his name is. He helped develop rounds for future use. This was one of the prototype rounds, and or the starting round was the 158 grain wad cutter. This one is plus P velocity with a hollow point in it. I get a lot of requests for this round, and yes, I will shoot it out of a snubby, because I already know one guy that's gonna email me and constantly ask me, because he was gonna send me some of these rounds, but the day I shot this, I only had my GP100 with me, which is a 4-inch barrel. But absolutely, I will shoot this out of the snubby, as I will with almost everything I shoot in 357 and or 38. So don't worry about that, guys. It takes a little time. I will get around to doing snubby tests and everything I do in 357 and everything I do and, well, with, not and, this GP100. So once again, it was a Jim Cirrilo, was a great detective, New York City Police Department. Probably been in more shootouts than, I'd say, 90% of police officers since the 70s. He was very good. He was an instructor. He ended up being a Fed later on down the line. The guy knew more about shootouts than we'll ever know. The guy knew more about ballistics and everything. When they shot somebody, they went to the morgue to figure out what went on with their round. And they helped pretty much bring to light everything that we see today, that I test and you guys see out on the market. He was pretty much the lead front for all that. A lot of people don't give him credit for that, but it is the truth. He was the lead front for all that. But let's get right to it. Today we shot it. 4 layers of denim to calibrated gel, 38 special plus P. Really not a big heavy load. I mean, the heavy load is in grain wise, 158 grain, heavy for caliber load, definitely. But soft recoil. One end of the gel, not a problem. We did get a lot of expansion, 19 3/8 penetration. That's a lot of expansion. But if you guys seen the way it was going down through the gel, it went in, dumped the denim, and then opened. If you guys see in today's hollow points, it only takes about a half a second to open, which is, you know, half an inch or, you know, a 1/4 inch, sometimes an inch, and then you get rapid expansion. We didn't get rapid expansion with this, but we got some damn good expansion. Let's talk about expansion for a second. 0.559. No jacket, nothing to aid it except the hollow point. This is just a big chunk of lead. 559.5 to be exact. Look at that. Big old chunk of lead. The reason they like these 158 grains is when they hit bone, they keep going. You get a soft load, or if you get a 110, 125 grain load, you're not going to penetrate bone. That's why this round was so important. That's why this round was used so much. Once again, we shot it out of the GP100.